Good afternoon and welcome to another installment of PPC Heroes Flash Webinar Series. First off, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy workday. For today, we will focus on engaging a local audience via ad copy through the use of Geo-Ad customizers. So without further ado, welcome to Engage Locally with Geo-Ad customizers. To begin, I'll provide a little background on myself. My name is William Larkham. I'm a production associate here at Hannafin Marketing. I am a blogger on PPC Hero, providing mainly news updates. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it is @Will_Larkham, where I'll provide PPC updates, different news, and the occasional sports narrative. During my time here at Hannafin, I've had experience in a range of verticals, including e-commerce, travel, and medical. And those are all certainly areas in which speaking to your audience on a local level is both valuable and worthwhile. So let's hop into our efficient and effective agenda here. Just a couple bullet points to touch on. First, we'll set the situation, the scenario in which Geo-Ad customizers prove both valuable and worthwhile in your time and have been shown to increase user engagement. The solution, which both an old solution, which is effective in its own right, and our Geo-Ad customizer solution, which works very well at scale. Then we'll go into the how-to. It's a fairly intuitive process, only a couple steps. However, there are some key points that we want to highlight just to make sure the entire process is streamlined. And fourth and final, we'll cap off the Flash webinar with just some final tips and friendly reminders. So let's hop right into this situation where location matters. So the problem at hand is we have a client with a need for location-specific ad copy. This can be brought on by a multitude of sources, meaning specific promotions, geo-targeted packages, different deals, different product pushes. Engage locally by speaking to that city. We have seen with this client that the inclusion of user location offers potential benefit, and it's something we want to go forward with. Furthermore, separate budgeting is unnecessary in this case. Campaigns are not dictated by geo-targeted budgets, which is in its own right an effective way of delivering the right ad to the right place, but not at the scale that we're looking to do for in this situation. So let's look at a couple of examples that match what we just discussed. Before hopping into the how-tos here. So first off, the big one is brick and mortar locations. By speaking to that city directly, you're going to supplement possibly your location extensions, drive user engagement, and likely in-store purchases. Moving on, shipping rates. We're all on a deadline here, and with the holiday season fast approaching, that's more true than ever. So if you can say within the week, within 3 days, within 2 days, if you have a fairly consistent shipping schedule, it's really going to let your ad stand out. Network coverage differences, think of transportation, cable, internet, where different packages, prices are available within certain areas, allows you to stand out from your users by having the correct and accurate information that's easily updatable. Location-specific promotions, this can be specific deals in a different region, or possibly a product push, such as warm clothing in some southern states and maybe boots, snow pants in places where it's beginning to snow. Currency differences is another option, both with taxation or national or international campaigns in which you are not targeting specific countries but do want to speak to the different currencies. Stock and availability, limited by location, is another great one. You can both create the sense of urgency by showing the stock left over, or provide value with the supply of wealth that you have in things such as transportation options with routes, or job creation and how many positions may be available. Service options again, is another great one with specific packages to a geo-targeted location. And lastly, travel, such as flights from a given departure gate, different times, different areas, anything that may prove valuable to include. So on to the solution. First the old and then the new. The classic solution would have been creating location designated campaigns. You'd add in your location targeting, whether they be state, city, whatever it may be, And then from there, you upload your ads, and that's how you deliver the right ad at the right place at the right time to the right person. However, a lot of times these campaigns are not as specific as you'd like, and this is where Geo-Ad customizers prove very valuable. They prevent you from having to make these excessively granular campaigns and are much easier to maintain at scale. So the improved solution, I'm sure you've all guessed it by now, geo-targeted ad customizers. These are ads triggered by the location of search and the location of interest. There are many benefits to them, many of which are custom tailored ad copy by location, delivering our specific details at scale, and we're relating to the location of the user, which helps provide a sense of showing how relevant the ad is for their query. So let's hop into the implementation and the how-to. As I mentioned earlier, it's a fairly intuitive process, but it has a couple key bullet points that are worth noting. The first step here is downloading and creating our bulk sheet. There is a sample template that can be found at the Google Support AdWords forum, and as you see, that is the top graphic here. In theirs, they've included a variety of different aspects, such as model, capacity, type, starting price. Essentially anything you want to speak to can be added in here on a text basis. Now their targeting within there is, they have targeting campaign, targeting ad group, targeting keyword, and targeting location is also an option. For the purposes of this presentation, I made a very simple bulk sheet right below that, where we have target location as what will trigger the ads, a city, which is broken out, which will be used in the ad copy itself in the middle column to speak to that relative location, as well as the third column where we have job openings listed here. For the purposes of this table, we are assuming the role of a job provider with very specific cities and a fairly continuous option of how many positions would be available within that area. One thing to keep in mind when uploading your sheet is that you need to name your sheet with just a very simple two-word, maybe Geo-Ad, something very simple, because it will go in your ad copy and should not have any spaces within it. So step one here, after you've created your bulk upload, is to go to the shared library. That'll be within your account on the left column. You'll click Shared Library and Business Data. Here is where you will do your actual upload, which is you will click the red button, Data. Under the drop-down menu, select Add Customizer Data. And from here, you will upload the sheet. Make sure to address any errors that arise. It'll let you know if location targeting is off, if any specific areas within that arise. Make sure to go through them and sort it out before moving forward. One more point, as I just mentioned, make sure to use a very similar or simple, name for the upload, because it will go in the ad copy, and do not have any spaces within it. So once you've got that, you'll move on to the final part, which is just like any other bulk ad upload. You'll create your sheet with everything, your campaign, your ad groups, your D1, your D2, display URL, final URL, every aspect that you normally would. The only difference here is when we create our ad copy, we will be separating certain parts with placeholders. They use a left and right bracket. So as you see here with our middle ad, our goal here is to speak to both the city and the job openings. So the template has browse over blank local job openings within blank city, apply today. And so the way you create those placeholders is with your left bracket, the name of your feed, period, and the name of the column of text right next to that, and then the right bracket. And that's how it will be geo-targeted and will trigger based on the location and fill in with what you've given it. So for example, here someone in Bloomington will search and it'll say browse over 100 local job openings within Bloomington, apply today. Just some final tips and friendly reminders before we part. Location here is determined both by physical location and location of interest. Keep in mind that location of interest trumps physical location. This is very important if physical location is a key determinant in your ad copy strategy. Now, moving forward, you also need to use this both wisely and strategic. Before implementing, it's smart to consider testing small. Think one campaign and see how that geo-targeted language affects all your KPIs and your account-wide performance. Location-specific targeting can backfire if used inappropriately. Basic things such as just online purchases, which a location is not necessary, have the potential to feel like an invasion of privacy if you are including that location information when it's not necessarily something that would engage a user more. And then final reminders. Normal ad restrictions remain, so within all of the AdWords guidelines when it comes to character limits, display URL, make sure that when you are inserting these geo-targeted ad customizing ad copy options, also, A/B testing still remains a very important aspect of using geolocated ads. First, you want to start with a geo-specific ad and then have it compared to a normal to see how it affects account-wide performance. And from there, continue to optimize around what is the best geo-specific language, whether it's indicating specific city, different offers you offer, different options you offer, excuse me, and optimize accordingly. And lastly, quite possibly one of the most important, is to double check that the ads are triggering for proper locations. We certainly don't want to be delivering a geo-targeted ad for the wrong location. The best way to do this is to use the ad preview tool within AdWords itself. On the left-hand side of that, you can set your location, and from there, just type in a query that will trigger your ad, and make sure that when it comes up, it is indeed filling in the text-based queries that you identified earlier for that specific city. So that concludes today's Flash webinar. Just want to thank you for joining us and appreciate you taking your time out of your busy workday. If you have any feedback, please feel free to contact us at marketing@hannafinmarketing.com.